This really grinded my gears, but it had no reason to. It had no right to, because it was just an ad, you know? But it left me perturbed in the wake of its presence, you know? It just rubbed me the wrong way. Call me a cat. Not because I, you know, am weird around humans and don't like being touched, but because no, I'm not gonna make the joke. I was gonna say, I'm not. What's the better way of saying it? See, I'm just gonna leave it alone. Doesn't that suck? I had this thing I was gonna say. The thing is, like in a conversation, I would have said the thing, but like I don't want this recorded. Okay. Well, that's my entire podcast. But you know what really grinded my gears? What really perturbed me to my core? Call me the sun, because I got a core and a crust. That's why I use lotion. Yes, lotion break, everyone. Just like last week. Daily healing. Okay. God, that doesn't look very good. Daily healing. Once a week. We're getting it done here. But I saw this ad, or I guess, no, commercial ad. Commercials and ads are the same thing, right? But when I see it on TV, I call it a commercial. And it makes complete sense. Like, oh yeah, it's a commercial. It's on TV. But those commercials that I guess you used to see on TV, because no one watches TV anymore, those commercials we used to see in the prehistoric era are now on like YouTube, like the internet, and we call them ads. But they're the same thing as a commercial. So why don't we call them commercials anymore, you know? Wow. What a great question. What a intellectual thought, Gaurav. Wow, what a great observation. You're really gonna go far in this world, bud. Yeah, I don't call like if I get an ad on YouTube. You see? I got an ad. I didn't get a commercial. Commercials have like this positive connotation to them. It's like, oh my god, it's like it has a very Willy Wonka esque connotation to it. Like, oh, here's a commercial. Whereas an ad sounds like a task you have to do. An ad sounds like taxes. It's like, yeah, I gotta take care of these ads, you know. Whereas a commercial, it seems like an event you get to be part of. Oh yeah, there was a commercial, you know. I think even it's the word ad. It's the condensed version of it that makes it sound so industrial, like an adult, uh, boring gray tan. Even the word like advertisement. Now that sounds big. That sounds very fanfarish. Let's go to the circus. They got an advertisement there. I know because I saw it in the advertisement. But the word ad, you know, it sounds very arduous, tedious, like sex ed. Sex ed sounds like a course. Sex education, now that sounds like an experience. Like, oh, yeah, teach me about everything, man. But, taking a sex ed course is very different than taking a sex education course, but they're the same exact thing. Does that make sense? Because that makes complete sense to me. Actually, I didn't even erect it to its fullest length. It should be sexual education. See, that sounds very like, oh, what's going on over there, you know? Whereas sex ed, it's like, oh, this again, you know? That's how I feel about it. But I got this ad, a commercial, whichever era you're part of. I got this ad for this car. I don't even know what. See, the ad didn't even do a great job because I don't even remember what car it is. And it's because of the thing that irked me to my core. It made me just forget even the point of why this was displayed on my screen. Because it was an ad for a car, but it started with this shot of a laptop, and it was like zooming in on the laptop, like panning towards it. And then they shut the laptop, and behind the laptop, oh, there's the car. I don't know what the point of that was. Like, maybe it's a commentary on the youth of this generation. They're always on that damn technology. Maybe if you pick your head up, you'll see, oh, wait, more technology. The only difference is we're trying to sell it to you. So we want you to look at ours. Don't look at Don't look at their technology. Look at ours, because we're gonna make the money if you're looking our way, not if you're playing on an iPad or whatever or a laptop. But you're probably like, okay, Gar, you've explained the ad. You explained your problem with ads. That's These aren't really real things you're talking about. But what irked you? What really was abrasive to your eyes? And it was when the laptop closed. The laptop closed without a sound, and it made me so frustrated. It was You've seen those oddly satisfying compilations. Well, they also have their like anti there's like the anti oddly satisfying compilations where they almost do the satisfying thing and then they just don't, and you're like, ooh. It's essentially, what is it? It's like a visual blue ball, because it's like, we're almost going to give you pleasure, but no, we're not. And it felt the same way. There was this, like, when a laptop closes, there's this very satisfying, like, click noise you hear. I can't quite describe it, but it sounds so perfect. Like, when a laptop closes at just the right speed, it just, ooh, there's this click to it. Oh my God. I can't even, like, I can feel it inside me, but I can't describe it. It's indescribable is what it is. But this laptop in this advertisement didn't make a noise. It just shut, and then we're like, ooh, car. And I'm like, no, hey, come on. That's like if they brought out, those desserts that they have at usually, I think, who is it? Chili's? No, sorry. I think Chevy's has it, and then probably I think every cruise for some reason has it. It's those desserts, and probably everywhere in Hawaii, but it's those desserts that are shaped like a volcano and they have like sparkles coming out of the tops. Yeah, I don't know why, but I think Chevy's like always has that. And you're like, what? Because if you're ordering that, it's for like an occasion. And then it begs the question, like, oh, like for your occasion that you're celebrating, you chose to come to Chevy's? Man, so it's like, that's a tough one. Because do you say congrats or like, oh man, sorry? It's like, yeah, it's a tough one because they're celebrating. It's, yeah, that's a tough one. That's like if someone graduated from, like UC Riverside. It's like, congrats for graduating, but so uh, that's mean. Uh, so yeah, it was just, why, man, make the noise, like. No, but that's the thing. Then I wouldn't have remembered the commercial, and now it's stuck with me. It's stuck with me for like a week now. I don't remember when I saw it, but and now later on, what might irk me more is my curiosity. I might be like, oh, what was that car? Just so I know to hate it, and then I'll research the ad, and then I'll find out what car it is, and then I'll never forget the car because I'll have created this animosity towards this car brand. But then I'll learn more about the car, and I'll be like, hey, wait, you're not that bad after all, and then a hateful relationship will turn into, toxic love. Before we know it, this automobile and I will have 3 kids and a down payment on a house. So thin ice is what I'm on, Things could change up real quick. And I got to be careful. It's a slippery slope. Slippery slope with thin ice. Oof. Either way, you're going to fall. So, tragic. But speaking of graduation, people are graduating, It's interesting. Uh, it's something I've noticed with I've been trying to like stay off social media for like the last few months because I think I mentioned this, it just makes me feel bad. I just don't like seeing people like, because people are always, you've heard it, right? Like social media is the highlight reel. And so if you're comparing your everyday life to someone's highlight reel, of course you're going to feel inadequate because they're showing you the best parts. But that's all you really have to go off of. So you're like, oh, this person's killing it. When in reality, they maybe are not killing it behind the scenes. You pull back the curtain and you're like, oh my God, You're the Wizard of Oz. You're just a small man. So yeah, I try to stay off of it because I feel like it has, I feel like, a negative effect on the mind. And so, you know, that I feel like that's a good enough reason to not do something. But here I am still going on social media and not sleeping a healthy amount. So really, do I care about the mind if I treat myself this way? But, I get to use this reason to try to keep myself off of it. I'm using this reason to be like, that's why I'm not using it, and then I don't have to keep up with anyone. But sometimes, I do, you can't just go cold turkey. Um, except I did. I went from like an hour and a half a day to like the next week, just, I think, 9 minutes. I wanted to get it like below six because my friend Hoyer, he's at, for a couple months ago, he was at six for like a whole month. I was like, oh, that's damn. Okay. I don't think that's that hard. Let me try it. And I tried it and I got to 9 minutes for like 3 weeks. And I was like, okay, that's still pretty good. Single digit. That's not bad. But now I'm like kind of finding myself use it more and trying to, slap the wrist, but hey, put that down. Stop using that. What did we talk about? The phone's like in my mouth. I'm like, hey, 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 take that out. uh, but I've been trying to stay off. But of course, you do sometimes find yourself on it. Like even during those 9 minutes, I was on it for 9 minutes. Most of the time, I just use it to like respond to DMs. But then, to get to your DMs, you have to like go through your feed. It's in the top right of your feed. So sometimes you don't see a post pop up. But, as graduation season's been happening, sometimes I find myself scrolling a little bit because I'm like, oh, this person graduated. This person graduated. Like, look at all these people graduating. Because a lot of the people I follow, are the people I went to high school with, the people I met like my first year of college. So, naturally, if they did the traditional like 4 years, um, now their time's up. No, they're done now. It's been 4 years. So I'm seeing a lot of people graduate, and I'm noticing a trend in a lot of these captions. And the trend I've observed is that like a lot of people, we'll say a majority, because obviously, not everyone, but a majority of people are like, uh, I graduated with blah, blah, blah degree from blah, blah, blah college. This was the best 4 years of my life. And I was like, oh. I read that. I'm like, are you really? Like, here's the thing. I thought, and then it gets me thinking, like, if I graduated, what would my caption look like? Like, not my real caption, because my caption would just be like a joke. But if I was to actually write like what I felt, and I was like, oh, I feel like my caption would be like actually, if I spoke my mind, um, like, well, that was like a really shitty 4 years, but at least I think I'm a better person now afterwards. That's the thing. These were, I mean, I don't know. Now, to call these past 4 years shitty, it you can't really do that because it's a very blanket, generalized statement, and it kind of like negates all the, or it discredits all the positives. And is it like, are you saying it's shitty? Are you saying like high school was better? I think high school was, like, if you look at it like objectively, I think well, no, this is a subjective conversation because you're talking about emotions, like how you feel, so it can't be objective. But like the objective part is responsibilities. The responsibilities you have in high school, and I guess the outlook on life you have in high school is very different than college. And for example, like in high school, I would look forward to just spending an entire weekend playing video games. Like I would get home from school and my main drive to finish homework and study was so that I could put that away so I could play video games. But now, like, I feel like garbage if I play video games. Like, I played video games for the past few days because we wrapped up finals. And I was like, I'll just play some video games. Been working on stuff. Let's just let's just not work on anything. And so I just played video games for like 2 days, and it was cool, like it's relaxing. But now I'm like, okay, now we got to get back on the saddle, like let's go, you know, let's now start making progress. Because like every time you finish a game, the game I play, every game's like average 20 minutes, and it's like, yeah, that was an enjoyable 20 minutes and everything, but like my this isn't doing anything for my life. Like, sure, it's giving me temporary happiness, and I guess all happiness is temporary or whatever. Um, because you can't just always be happy. I think that's like drugs. Like you have to be on drugs to do that, right? So it's like, oh, cool. I guess it made you happy then, but it's like it doesn't have any long term effects. Or I guess the long term effects it has is that you're not really accomplishing anything. You're just playing a video game to have fun. And is that bad? Like, is having fun like a bad thing? No, it's great. That's what you want. But like, man, see, this is what this this is what our society's program us believe, bro. That if you're not working on something, that you should hate what you're doing. And yeah, and that's how I feel. Even though I'm acknowledging that sucks, that's how we think. I guess it's not. You can't just like a depressed person. They can acknowledge they're depressed, but that's not enough to make them, you know, get out of that. That's just the first step, admitting you have a problem. Well, that's tough language to use, right? Saying a depressed person, admitting that depression is a problem because it's not a problem, it's just a condition. Because problem makes it seem like it's their fault or like it has a negative connotation. It's not a negative connotation. It's just like a thing that needs to be dealt with. There's a lot of nuance to this garbage, but see, no, I'm not talking about. Damn. See, I'm not saying depression is garbage. I'm saying like just like the way that people think, like sucks. See, this is one of those moments I get like nervous. Like, am I saying the right thing? Like, like, I think people that are like depressed people are totally like valid and like it makes complete sense. I'm just talking about like their whole situation is garbage. Like I'm on their side. I'm basically saying like, oh, that sucks. I'm not like discrediting them. I'm saying, oh yes, that is bad. But it's not okay, damn. It's not bad. It's sucky. You know? I'm not saying like you're like lesser or anything. I'm saying I'm agreeing. I'm like, oh, you're depressed? That fucking sucks. Oh no, I. Oh man, I said the F word. Man, I said I was. I've been doing so well, man. I don't even know how I got here. This sucks. See, this is a sucky situation. Here's the thing. I think overall college was like, I mean, I still have a year left, right? I think as an experience, like itself, like it's, oh, man, this sucks because like I know exactly what I mean, but like I don't want anyone to take it the wrong way. I'll just say what I'm thinking, and then we can work through it. You can probably understand what I'm talking about, but like I think college is was let's just talk about like let's talk as if I was done. If I did these 4 years and then I wrapped up. College was truly like a shitty experience, like through and through. Like it was all pretty much garbage. But see, that's the thing. I don't want to say all because, like, okay, let's say like the education, but like this whole school aspect of college is complete garbage. Like it's probably the worst thing I've ever experienced in my life. I truly think it sucks. But then I do think having, been on the other end of it, speaking as if I'm done, being on the other end of it, I have become a much better person than I was 4 years ago. Like if I look at who I was 4 years ago, I'm really glad that I'm not that person. But this experience that we had to lead up to this point, I really hated it. Um, but that's the thing. Everything I've learned these past 4 years has built the foundation to have a happy rest of life, you know? And I don't want when I say, college was really shitty, I don't want that to discredit like anyone I met or any relationship I made because those are the good things. Those are the things I've learned to love and appreciate, and those have helped me build a stronger foundation. It's all the other, for lack of a better term, just like bullshit that I think it sucks. And that, is a majority of my college experience. So I'm like, it sucks. It really sucks. But yeah, I don't want to discredit like all the good stuff. I think that's my thing. Like looking back on college, um, it's truly just like a negative memory. But there's so many good things that came out of it. I think that's the problem. It's such a bad thing, but there was so much good that came out of it. And I think that's the thing. It was growing pains. They're very necessary things, but they hurt the whole time. But when you get to the end, you're like, oh, look at that. I grew. It was just a little painful. So that's the thing. I don't know. I feel weird when I see people being like, "This is the best 4 years of my life," because maybe it was, but I really cannot see a world in which I could ever say that. That's I don't know. Maybe some people feel that way, but when this is the other problem. I am still kind of like in it. So maybe when you finish, I mean, no. When I finish, I'll still, harbor resentment. No. The thing is, you don't have to care when you're done. Like, when you're done, you got what you needed. You got your degree, like. It's hard to talk poorly about something that everyone, like, puts on this pedestal, that everyone like talks about in such a positive way. Like, how can you be critical of that if everyone is saying it's amazing? It's almost the scariest thing. Like, you don't like The Office. It's like it just you know. Now I like The Office. If you watched the first few episodes of this podcast, you know that. But it's that same scariness. It's I don't really know how to explain this. Like it makes man, this is hard because I've never like I don't really talk about this with many people, but I don't think I've met someone that like truly gets what I mean when I say these things, which sucks because if you don't like really get what I mean, then it's a bad take. It's a bad take that I put out. Man, I hope you got what I meant by that whole thing. Because like through and through like really hate college, but like it's given me all these tools and this foundation, for a happier rest of life. And if you think about it, that's all. That's a good. Okay, great. Like that's what college is, a tool. It's a means to an end. It's a means to the end, which is like the happy life. It's not like the thing, you know. It's not the end. It's the. It's a tool you're just using. You know. You're just passing by. You take your 3 to 5 years or whatever, average it out at 4, and whatever. See, I'm also the asshole that like feels weird when like I see those bumper stickers on people's car where they're like, yeah, college alumni. I'm like, who cares? Like, what? Why did you put that on your car, man? But I mean, like, cool for them if they're like proud to go to college. That's the thing. I don't. I feel like people. What is that? It's called Stockholm syndrome, right? Where you like fall in love with uh your captor, like the person that captured you or whatever. I feel like people come into college and then they just, I don't know, they become weirdly close to the institution, and I'm like, I don't know. I have a very I see college as like a very transactional relationship. I don't see it as like this mutual thing. I don't know. It's so, man. Have you ever done this? You've expressed an opinion that you know is not popular, and then like that, just that uncomfort, because you're like, I hope this doesn't change how people like feel about me, you know? Because I truly like, there's no like ill will towards anyone that has the other opinion. I just like I can't see how I could ever have that opinion. That makes sense. Man, I feel like unpopular opinions are good for like a dialogue. I don't think they're good for a monologue, because you really got to come with like a counter argument and your own argument, you know? You got to be like, "Oh, yes, I see the other side is saying this. Okay, so let's do that. What is the other side saying? The other side is saying this was the best 4 years of my life." I'm like, "Okay, yes, I see that. You are saying that. I think, and that's totally possible. I can totally see how that's possible. But me, I can't see how that's possible. Also, it's different. Like, we'll use my example or my case as an example. UC Davis. Like, my UC Davis is completely different than someone else's UC Davis, right? If they're like a different major. Like, I didn't interact with probably more than half the school, you know? Like, I just dealt, and even, it being moved online, I just dealt with engineering majors. So I have the engineering view of UC Davis, or not even the engineering view of UC Davis. I have the view of the engineering program at UC Davis. And it's tough because when you talk about it, you keep talking about it as the college as a whole, when in reality, I'm talking about one college inside of the entire university. I'm talking specifically about the College of Engineering. That's my experience. Whereas, like, the College of, what is it? I don't know other colleges. But what is arts? Is arts a college? Just art or letter? No, I don't know. I don't know what the other colleges are. But like whoever is in that other college, like their experience is completely different from mine. So maybe like that college made it to where yes, it was super easy to love your past 4 years. But I found, you know, you know what I'm saying. I don't know what to say, man. Well, hey, you know what? I have another year at Davis, so maybe I'll fall in love. Maybe they can right their 4 years of wrong in 1 year. Who knows? Hey, let's remain optimistic. Let's. No, no. I hope you get what I'm getting at, because if it doesn't make sense, and I just sound like a salty. I mean, I am just a salty person, But this makes it seem, I don't know. Do you know what I'm saying? Okay. I saw this. Let's talk about this. I saw this tweet. Um, I thought it was fun. UC Davis is graduating, the whole shebang. I saw this. Gary May tweeted, and I'll put the tweet on the here. Let me take a screenshot real quick. I'll put the tweet like right. Where should I put it? I'll put it like right here on this side of the screen. He said, presiding over commencement, one of the few situations where everyone is happy. I thought that was really funny because you can tell there's like some. I mean, he doesn't write his own tweets, but like, it's it's a it's funny to think he did write his own tweet, because it sounds like he's fed up with people just not being happy. He's like, God, I've been hearing just people complain so much. Thank God. Looks like everyone's happy here, because all of you have been complaining for the past 4 years, which is weird because all of you also said these were your happiest 4 years. So, interesting. Interesting. So much complaining, but you're so happy. Yeah, something not adding up. And I'm an engineering major, okay? So I took enough math courses. I'm talking as Gary May. He was an engineering major. Um, but yeah, I thought it was funny. It just he sounded like he had like pent up, anger. It's like, finally, one of these situations where finally, none of you have a reason to complain, okay? Because all of you are just getting your way. Okay, you're getting a degree. Great, awesome. So everyone shut up. Just be happy. Stop being so ungrateful, okay? I get your complaints. All your parents, all you in the cap and gown, all your parents email me. There's a reason they invented a spam folder, okay? If their subject line is grading policy, it goes straight into the trash, okay? Also, it's one of the few situations, he said, one of the few situations where everyone's happy. I wonder what the other situations are. Or like graduation or commencement? Let's think about that. He's saying, one of the future situations when everyone's happy. I bet there's some people that aren't. Like, who wouldn't be happy? Someone that just like came in undeclared, or maybe they came in declared and they just got a degree because they were like, well, I have to just decide on something. And now they have a degree that they aren't entirely like in love with, but now they have to like go out in the real world. I think maybe they wouldn't like commencement. Also, now they have a bunch of student debt, so it's like I have to work this job that I don't even really like because I still don't really know what I want to do in my life because, hey, guess what? I'm 22 years old and I have to work this job I hate so I can pay off this thing that I spent 4 years doing. But it was the best 4 years of my life. So I hope I don't sound whatever. The thing is, like, in a year, I won't have to. That's the thing. You don't have to care. Like, there's no reason to hold animosity towards a college because, like, after your 4 years, hey, guess what? You're done. You guys don't have to interact at all ever again. It's done. You got what you wanted. They're gonna be getting your money for a while, so they'll eventually get what they wanted, because college is a business. And it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure doing service with you. Um, that's the thing. Like, you're doing it. Like, college is a business. Like, you're doing business with them. Like, it's a transaction. You're paying for a service, which is education, or a professor just playing a video for you. And so I don't get, like, how do you fall in love with that? It's all the things around. I think that's the thing. I think people's definitions are a little like there's an overlap in people's definitions. Like, when they say college was the best 4 years of my life, they don't mean like the school. They just mean like the experience. No, but the experience was shit too. Like, I think there's a way to articulate what I mean. I just don't think I can do it. Or no, I think I can do it. I don't think I've figured it out yet. But I think when people say UC Davis, like it's just an all-encompassing term. I think you got to break it down and be like, well, did you like that part of UC Davis? And they're like, oh no, I hated that, but I really like the other 90%. So yeah, I loved it. And you're like, okay, that makes sense. See, when you say it was the best 4 years of my life, it just makes it seem like it's all good. And no, it's not. But I think it's probably just a personality thing too, right? I focus on the bad things, and so those probably just stick out more to me. And so it feels like it's more of the experience. But no, I think if you objectively look at it, a majority of the experience was bad. The good stuff, I have acknowledged there's good stuff. I feel like the good stuff only makes up 20-30% tops. There's no way it's more than that. And with online, I'm sure that number got reduced. Like it would normally be 20 to 30%. Like if we were in person for all 4 years, but because it got moved online, maybe we're looking at like a 15% good. Because the social aspect kind of gets taken out of it, and that's really where the college experience shines. I don't know. I just don't like. How does someone let? hmm. Like I really like sweet and savory. That's the thing. Okay, so like I don't want it. I don't want it. I hope it's not like like I hope it's communicated that the good things aren't lost on me. Like the reason anyone is even listening to what I'm saying right now is because I went to UC Davis. Because even if you don't go to UC Davis yourself, like a majority of you probably found me through UC Davis, the content I made about the school. And then even if you didn't, the other opportunities I've gotten in life has been because of my involvement in UC Davis. Like an internship I've done, it's because I've been pursuing an engineering degree at UC Davis. So that's the thing. This, what's happening right now, wouldn't even exist if the thing I'm claiming to hate so much didn't happen. But I'm still claiming to hate it. So that's the thing. I realize how fruitful, you know, these 4 years have been, but it's been some sour ass grapes, man. It's yeah. Yeah. It's that, I already said this. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know how to say this the right way. I don't think there's a right way to say it. I hope your guys' finals went well and everything. I hope if you were in school, I hope it wrapped up nicely the year. I hope, summer's coming up. I hope you got some good plans for summer. Um, yeah, I'm gonna be making. I'm excited for summer because uh, my channels. I feel like, see, this is a problem. I feel like I completely like shit on the mood or shit on the vibes of this podcast, and I'm like, well, everyone hates me by now, So why am I even talking? um, I'm excited for my main channel this summer because I've talked about making content that's not about UC Davis, and I think that'll be very. I think it'll be good for the channel. Like I think this next year will be my biggest year of growth because I talked about it in my what is it 4 years later, the video I just made. Thank you for watching that, by the way. It's super dope. It's always meaningful when people watch that because it has nothing to do with anything except me. So that's dope to see like people support because it means like, oh, it's like a direct support of me, which is, I mean, if you think about 4 years ago, like there were a handful of people showing me the same support that, hundreds of people today show me. It even sounds weird to say. That's really weird. But thank you for watching that. But I kind of hinted on it. See, God, this is like, I don't, this is, these are like the hardest things for me to talk about, like emotions and college, and I'm like doing them in here. This sucks. You're seeing college, like me talk about college and like my true feelings about it, and like then me talking about emotions. Like I tried to be grateful, but I just got really uncomfortable. I don't know how to be like, I don't know how to say thank you without like getting really like, I'm sweating so much right now. It's, oh my God. Oh, you know what sucks too? I feel like the last two episodes of this podcast were good. Like I really think they were good. Like I was proud of them. And then this one, I think I just shit the bed. Good thing I made it. Made the bed. uh, I think it's gonna be a good summer. I think this next year is gonna be very. It's gonna be different content. Everyone make room. Everyone make room. We're gonna be inviting more people to this channel. More people are gonna be discovering it, just because um, I've just been aiming my content at Davis. That's the audience I've been catering towards. But now it's time to take this catering business global, baby. Go to more of a bigger niche, not one that's so niche. Yes, not like the niche I've been targeting for the past 4 years. There's a finite number of people. It's like how many people are in Davis? Like 42,000, I think. So even if everyone watches me from Davis, there's still only 42,000 people. That's like if everything goes perfectly, which is impossible. Still, I can only hit 42,000 as a max audience. But now I'm going to be talking about stuff that applies to probably like millions of people. So this will allow me to, I'm not going to hit, millions like that number, but like now I'm going to be catering to that big of an audience. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think just because of that, it'll just be an inherent thing that the channel grows a little more, which is exciting. I think so. If I do, that's the thing. If I do it right, I think I can do it right. Um, this niche, I think I can approach it in a unique way, and I think it will be very conducive to the growth of the channel. Is all I'm gonna say. High hopes. I said I don't like putting stuff out in the universe, talking about goals of mine and stuff. So this is all I'm gonna say. Okay. um, I just all I'm gonna say is this next year I think will be my biggest year yet. We'll see what happens from there. So what day is today? Huh? Like June 13th? Yes, this let me tell you what, June 13th, 2022, I will report back and tell you if I called it or not. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to address it anymore. Well, no, I am. I'm going to address it as I am actively catering towards that audience. Once we start seeing growth, I'll talk about it here. Um, talk about my observations. You know what I'm saying? God, I'm so sorry. I really felt like last week was probably like my strongest. I don't, don't knock on wood. I feel like last week was truly like my strongest podcast episode yet, and this one, oh man, I feel like it just like fell apart or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm nervous. I don't know. I start work tomorrow, so maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm nervous about shit. I don't know. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you watched this, I don't. Next week will be better, okay? And I'll be back in Davis next week. And thank you, and I'm sorry, but thank you for listening. And I'll talk at you next week. There'll be a video this week, so look out for that. But thank you, thank you so much for listening. I'm sorry, okay? We'll see each other next week for this podcast, okay? Sorry, I can't say sorry enough. Okay, bye.